Test 1 2 test. Test 1 2.
Well, you never know what you're going to get thrown at you. Hi, Russ.
This one
Do we have assigned seating?
Test 1 2 test test test.
I should have taken that one.
Test 1 2 test test.
Sure.
I'm just in front of the box.
I don't believe so.
Test 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 1 2 test testing.
That's better. That's much better.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Test 1 2.
How are you?
Okay, so before we
Wishing I had a T-shirt right now.
okay,
Actually,
so
wish I had a T-shirt. It's a lot warmer than I thought.
yeah, let me run through the mics on these guys here real quick. Okay, just hit this button once.
Yeah.
It's unmute, probably. So that's how you work. Okay. So
Oh, yeah.
right now your mic is live. Just test, test, test 1 2.
There you go.
I gotta bring up the volume on this one. It's number 4. Okay, right now it's live. You see that right there? Just press this button real quick once.
Got it. Yeah.
And you see the LCD on there? Okay, let me show you.
Yeah.
Hi.
But then,
Excuse me. Yeah, let me. I want to show you this real quick. So right now your mic is live, right?
right.
And so if I hit this once,
I am.
Remind me next time to delay this meeting by about 2 more weeks, and the leaves are all out, and it gets a shade.
same thing here.
Yep.
It's live right now. Test, test.
Yeah.
And then my,
I
forgot which article that was. Same thing here. Mute button. It's live right now. You're gonna want a little bit closer if you do talk. Okay. Same thing here.
Yeah. No, I
don't want to link that far away. That was good.
No.
But,
Like-
test. Yeah, a little bit closer. Okay. So right now it's live.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone, on this beautiful Saturday. I want to begin by acknowledging that we're meeting near the end of a pandemic. And there is one blessing and one curse that I want to note that comes with this moment. The blessing is that this is the largest crowd I, at least, have been with in a whole year, and that feels wonderful. That is blessing. And the is that I don't remember anyone's name, So, so please be sure to say your name and when you need to speak. And if you do wish to speak, stand up and go near the microphone with the big red end on it. And also, I ask forgiveness for forgetting your name ahead of time. Okay, I also wanted to thank Fletcher Proctor, who has been moderator of this town for centuries. I think. Fletcher, did you take over from Norm Wright? Is that right? Yeah. Well, I am not unprepared. Thanks to you, Fletcher. You have been a wonderful support helping with this transition. Thank you. Okay, we have several representatives from several of our representatives here. And in fact, Michelle Boslin, one of them, just told me that this is the largest number of representatives that she has been since she was elected. So Montpelier is here. And but I wanted to invite any of the representatives who wish to give a little introduce themselves and give a little couple of words about what's happening. I want to invite them to do so. Michelle, I know you have something you want to say, and we've got Ricky, Carolyn Partridge, Leslie Goldman is here. So, Michelle.
So, hi, everybody. I actually realized after I claimed that this was the most legislators that I actually was in one other crowd on May Day that had, I think, about 9 legislators. So this is the second biggest gathering of legislators since I've been elected. But it is good to see all of you as time that I've been with a group of this size in Westminster since I've been elected. And I'm grateful for that. I'm hoping that the next year can be a lot more normal than the last year has been in terms of being able to meet and talk with and work with people and do the work that you in Westminster are hoping that we can do up in Montpelier. So I'm just going to take a moment to give you a short little update in terms of what I've been working on. I'm not sure exactly what my fellow legislators will update about, but it's been a very strange term in the legislature. As you all know, with the pandemic, we've been remote. I've been into the State House twice, basically sort of as a guest, walking around, snapping pictures, seeing what it would look like if I was there with my fellow legislators, but usually we meet online. And sometimes we meet online for 7, 8. We've got only one more week to go, but we have actually really important things as a state. In the committee, I work on, serve on the Corrections and Institutions Committee, and we passed the Capital Bill, which ended up getting about $130 million to be spent all over the state for all kinds of things that are going to So it took a very long time to go through line by line all a package of services that are going to work for our state. I have heard from a number of you by email. Kind of like David said, I don't know that I recognize everybody by face yet, so please do come up and introduce yourself after the session is done here. Always feel free to contact me by email or by phone. I'm happy to help with constituent services, and especially in the next 6 months when we won't be in session, I will have more time. If people would like to meet one-on-one and talk about issues of concern, possible legislation for the fall, I would be happy to do that. One last thing I just mentioned is that there's a small group of people which actually started here in Westminster, which have pulled together a group in the last couple of months called Humanity Network. And it's a equity working towards making Westminster and our corner of the county a more labor and a whole variety. So if you're in for a few months now and coming up in the later in the fall, so let me know about that. It's one of many things that is happening as we're able to get more active in person. We will be doing that. So thanks everybody.
Thank you, Michelle. Mike, do you want to say a couple of words?
That would be great, and it's wonderful to be here. I'm Mike Merwicki, your other state rep, and I want to thank Michelle first, and I want to let people know what a great job she's been doing in her first year. She's really hit the ground running. She's been a great asset to your town and to the delegation, of the county delegation. So I want to thank you for all the good work you've done. I also want to recognize and give a great shout out to Moderator Major, because when it came time for someone to stand before the State Board of Education and make the case for Westminster to be able to go back to normal, he did a great job. Thank you very much for your work there. I mean, a lot of people worked to make that happen, but you pulled it together and did a great presentation there. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, and it was definitely a team effort from a whole variety of folks.
Yep. So I'm gonna use the best advice I gave around public speaking, and there's 3 rules I was taught. Stand up to be seen, speak loudly to be heard, and sit down quickly to be appreciated. So I will be brief here, because actually what I really want to be doing today is, as soon as I leave here, I'm going to go over to Paul Harlow's and get my tomatoes and other vegetable starts to put. I don't think it's too early, is it, Paul? All right, so no more frost. And I do want to thank you all for the opportunity to work for you in Montpelier, even though it's been this year. It has been a challenging year, but I think when all is said and done, at bay until the vaccines came in, and now I'm all vaxxed up. And somewhere to go, and I think most of us are. So that too, but Vermonters have really had a lot of its economy, was a lot of businesses were really ready to fold their tent up. But we did a lot of work there, where there'll be more coming, and that's something to try and hold us back. And specifically what I'm talking about is elections and voting. And we just passed a law that I hope the governor certainly signs, which is going to provide more access to voting booths. While other states around the nation are trying to suppress the vote, are trying to limit who votes, Vermont is widening the door so more people can get out there and vote. We're going to stick with vote by mail. We think this really worked. We had record turnout in this last election. I think vote by mail works. It's the easiest thing to do. And we want people to vote. Democracy works when people participate. So we want to make it as easy as we can. The other thing we're going to do is you're now going to be able to cure that ballot if you feel like you made a mistake when you voted by mail. So we didn't have that before. So we're going to be able to do that. We think it's important to make it as easy as possible for people to vote. And that's what we're doing here in Vermont. And it's one of the things I'm really proud that Vermont is being a leader in that while other states are not. Last thing I want to say is that apart from the politics, this is a service job. If you have a need that's not being met, whether it's healthcare, whether you have struggles with food, housing, we want to hear from you. I've got one of the easiest numbers in the area to remember. My phone